Welcome to another episode of Tamara Simon's Live and the Real Estate Power Chat. Today's guest is Denny Reichard. He has over 30 years experience in real estate, and he also was a high-end custom home builder. You're going to want to hear his story. But as you know, first things first.
This is Tamara Simon's Live, where real estate agents from around the globe come together to grow, collaborate, and expand their business. Where we take our inspiring conversations and put them together to create dynamic connections. This is the Real Estate Power Chat.
Welcome, Denny.
Thank you so much for having me on, Tamara.
Absolutely. I'm excited for my audience to get to know you and to hear a little bit about your real estate journey.
Oh, yeah. Can't wait to share.
Absolutely. Well, let's start with how you even got into real estate.
Well, that is kind of a funny story. So my background is building. So I was a custom home builder and actually worked for a company, high-end custom home building company in Champaign, Illinois. And I decided I wanted to know a little more about real estate. So I thought I'd go to school to get just wanted to get the knowledge. I had no desire to actually get my real estate license. And so once I took the class, passed it, I thought, shoot, I'm going to forget everything. Maybe I better go take the state test. And I did, passed it, and got my license. And that's how it started.
Yeah, I like those where I have no intention of being an agent, and then you dive right in.
Yeah.
So how did you go from being a high-end custom home builder to a real estate agent?
Well, it's funny. So I was working for that company, and in 2002, I split with that company and expanded over into Peoria, Illinois. And we just made a gentleman's agreement that I wouldn't compete against them in building. And I was already licensed then at that time. So figured if we're building houses, I might as well sell them too. So we were selling our own spec houses, and my wife became a real estate agent. So she was helping run that side of it as I was running the building business and signing getting the contracts put together on the new builds.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Having come from a construction home background in my family, I really like the ideas of spec homes. But I do. How did you transition though? Because you're in Arizona now.
Right. So, if people know about Illinois, Peoria, Illinois, Central Illinois. So Chicago's a couple hours away to the northeast. So in Central Illinois, in Peoria, the world headquarters for Caterpillar, the big mining machinery company, the big tractors. They announced in 2017 that they were going to move the world headquarters out of Peoria. The majority of my clients, not only in building, but also in real estate, were Caterpillar employees. I built for a lot of the vice presidents and also a lot of the high-end executives. So when they made this announcement, I kind of joked about this before and told my wife, if Caterpillar ever moves, that's it, we're out of here. We're going to go somewhere else. Well, we talked about that, but we were really never serious. We had our kids in 2017. I think our last one was still in college. And so when this happened, we thought, well, let's look and see where we would like to go and move and see if that's even an option. So we've been coming down to Phoenix. Actually, I've been coming down since 95, and just the potential growth here was phenomenal. But not only that, we just like the area. We like that we can go hiking and kayaking in the river or be at the beach in 5.5 hours. There's just so many different things that we could do that you can't do in Central Illinois. And no snow. Yeah. Yes, no snow. And it really, if we want to see snow, 2.5 hours to the north up in Flagstaff, there's a ski resort. We could go see snow. But that's how it kind of come about. And we just, we looked at Nashville. We didn't want Florida. We didn't want the hurricanes and those things. And Nashville was nice, but we loved going to Broadway in Nashville. But did we really want to live there? It's hot and it's very humid. And you have hot and humid in Illinois as well. But we really just fell in love with the desert And, a lot of people go, oh my gosh, it's brown, it's hot. The desert's beautiful. There's so many things that you can do here, and Phoenix is just thriving. So we made that decision in 2018 to expand. And you got to remember, I knew nobody. I knew nobody. I had no database. And my business in Illinois, I had a small team. I personally was doing about 100 transactions a year. And now my average sell price was between 175 to 200 when the market's average was about 140. So I was above market. But I had a really good database in the years that I've been in business. So that was a little hard to say, okay, we're going to walk away from this business. So we expanded here, and for the first year and a half, I was running both businesses.
Oh,
so
boy.
I was going back and forth. Yeah.
That had to have been exhausting.
It was. Yeah. I would be here in Arizona for about 3 to 4 weeks, and I'd fly home for a couple weeks. And then it was really interesting because of the time difference. With the 2-hour time difference, I would get up at 5. I'm an early riser anyway, but I would be up at 5, and by 6 I was on the phone making calls in Illinois, because I would be 8 o'clock. And then as we got into 8 and 9 o'clock here, I'd start making calls to try to drum up business. I'm Mike Ferry trained. That's Tom Ferry's dad. So I was coached by them from 2008 to 2019. So I was one of those ones on the phone, making the phone calls to for sell by owners and expireds, and your past clients, and how we built that here. And a lot of people, I tell my agents now, or people that are moving here, go, don't forget about your database from where you come from. And so coming from Illinois, you wouldn't believe the number of people and referrals that I was able to get of people moving here to Phoenix. And that's how I was able to get the business started here, was really just calling my sphere. And of course the expireds and sell by owners.
Absolutely. I think we lose sight of working our spheres as much as we should, not realizing that there's a lot of business to be made with the people that you already know.
Right. Well, and these are the people that already like you and love you.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
And it was easy conversations, because I would call the people like up in Illinois and just, hey, just check, see how things are going. Hey, do you know anybody that's moving or lives in Phoenix? And then they would go, oh my God, that's right, you moved there. What do you think of it? Do you like it? So we'd have great conversations, and they were more than willing, if they knew somebody or even had an idea of somebody that was moving here or already lived here, giving me their information.
Nice. Now, how did you go about choosing a brokerage once you was making that long move from, Peoria, Illinois to Arizona? I mean, that's not, just over the tracks. So
Right. I mean, that's 15, almost 1,600 miles. All right. So being coached by Mike Ferry, so I called Mike, and Mike and I had a few different conversations in about making this move, because I wanted to make sure I was doing it correctly. And and he's helped many agents move their businesses from one location to another. And so he gave me a few brokerages. And then I had a friend that I knew that actually was a client to get his real estate license in Phoenix, but he was a client of mine in Illinois that was his license was with a company called Revelation Real Estate. And so I called, and I scheduled appointments for 3 different brokerages, and my wife and we flew into town, and we met with each one of them. And Revelation Real Estate was an independent. And those of you that may know Chuck and Angela Fazio, they were the owners of Revelation Real Estate. And I really just loved what they stood for. And they were real, they were genuine, and their work ethics was amazing, and their building was amazing here. And so, I met with the other ones, but this is the one that my heart just told me to, this is a direction I need to go.
Yeah, I can understand why. Chuck and Angela are pretty awesome. Now, when they chose to move over to EXP, was you all on board with that, or?
At the beginning, when Chuck, I was only here just less than a year with Revelation, and Chuck approached me and said, "Hey, I'm thinking about moving over to EXP. I'd like to talk to you about moving over." And for me, it was, oh my gosh, I'm getting my business started. It wasn't anything about EXP or any other brokerage. It was just, man, I'm busting my butt trying to get going here. Yeah. And so at first it was like, no, not yet. And but he wasn't moving the brokerage over yet. And so it was, I can't remember how many months later, but it was some months later. They contacted me and said, "Hey, I want to meet with you." And we had a one-on-one meeting to talk about EXP and that they were going to move the brokerage over. And quite honestly, what was really cool about that, I went from working for Chuck and Angela as them owning a brokerage to being partners with them. And any of you that know the difference in that, you'll know what I'm talking about. Now I'm not working for them. Now we are partners. We're locking arm to arm and we're working together. And we are we are owners of our own company all together, which is what's really cool.
Without all the liability that a broker takes on.
Right. Yeah. I know Chuck had told me some stories, and I've known many people that, the managing brokers or the independent brokers, that the horror stories that you go through when you own your own brokerage, just even on the legal side of it, right? And so that is something that, we don't have any of those issues.
So you made the transition over to EXP. What was the big draw for you to make the move to EXP?
This is one that, a lot of people will tell you maybe that, it was the rev share or the stock or whatever. Those were enticing to me, but what really got my attention was the healthcare. And here's why. I've been self-employed for a lot of years of my adult life. I've always had to pay for my own healthcare. And the last few years before we went to EXP and was able to get healthcare through them, my wife and I were paying about $1,200 a month in healthcare just for her and I. No kids at home. It's just my wife and I. Yeah. And you're like, $1,200 a month in health insurance, and we're healthy. We don't have any issues going on. And so when I sat down and was looking more into EXP, and this is something I recommend, if healthcare is something that really interests you in this company, then you can make a phone call and they will run numbers for you and tell you exactly where you're going to be on your healthcare benefits. And I did that. And my initial benefits was $671 a month from $1,200 a month. So then we added, because it was only $671, we added dental in for each of us, which was $50 each. And then I was throwing $100 into the health savings plan a month. So I was total $871 a month with adding dental and $100 in the health savings, and still almost $400 cheaper than what I was out of pocket at $1,200.
Yeah, no, that's a no-brainer.
Yeah, right.
That's a no-brainer. Now, speaking of the healthcare, do you like the healthcare? Do you find that it's valuable? I know that it's not something that many people talk about. And I was just recently looking into the healthcare, and my mind's actually been blown away by the program that they offer.
It is pretty amazing. So you have preventative. Any of you that know me out there, I'm in my 50s. I'll be 58 this year. And, so of course, once you're in your 50s, the procedures you should be doing to help protect yourself. Well, that's a preventative, and that's taking care of 100%. There's no deductible. So
Nice.
I can go and have that procedure done, and it's covered 100%. And
That's good.
you're covered with, if there's something major that goes on, you're covered. There's two parts to the health insurance. So you do have a regular insurance, and then you have a shared part that helps with the big things. So if you had like a major accident or something like that, or I know a couple of people have gone through cancer, and everything was taken care of. They had their deductible with that, but it's a pretty darn good program.
Well, and that's kind of what I was seeing with it as well. And that's only from a self-employment, when you're looking for healthcare, self-employment healthcare benefits are atrociously expensive.
Yes.
And a lot of times the companies that you look into don't pay as much.
Right.
Yeah, you're paying a fortune, but they're not paying out much.
Right.
So I'm glad that you touched base on that, because that's one of those EXP benefits that you don't hear of.
Right.
Now, since you've been with EXP, and how long has that been now?
It was January of 2020.
Okay, so you've only been here a few years.
Yep, 3 years.
And since you've been here, what is one of the, just one of the things that you absolutely love about just being a part of EXP? Not necessarily just the company itself, but just being a part of EXP.
The thing, and I tell people this, the collaboration is something that I've never seen anywhere else. So I've been with other independent companies, and I was with a couple of the box brands, and the collaboration is amazing. I can just reach out to somebody, and not only are they going to help give me the information, but they're going to share. Like if I needed a listing presentation, they would actually share it with me and give me their listing presentation. That is something I thought was really cool. And you would think, oh, that's only going to happen once or maybe twice. No, this happens all the time. I'm telling you, I see this. It happens to me. It happens to agents that I know. It's just really, really awesome. And the events that we have, the people that show up to the events, I have built really good friendships just from meeting other agents at different events. And not only that, you know how they always say, you need to get yourself into the room. Well, I've now twice at 2 different events, I've been very lucky to have dinner with Glenn Stearns from Stearns Financial, which are Success Lending. He's been on stage. He's the billionaire that he was in the very first season of oh gosh, what was that called? I can't think of the name of it now, but they put him on the street with $100, and he had to build a company that was at least $1 million in evaluation.
Oh yeah,
Undercover Billionaire. That's what it was called. So I had dinner with him in Cabo last year, and down in Dallas this last August, was able to have dinner with him again. And that is what's really cool. I mean, the people that I get to meet, having Tony Robbins at the Build event 2 years in a row. I mean,
yeah, I missed that one, but I watched bits and pieces, and I was like kicking myself for not going.
It was amazing, and I don't want to make you feel bad or not trying to. Here's the thing with Tony Robbins. This is what I got out of it, and I think a lot of other people. Last year in 2021 in August was the first time I saw Tony Robbins. It was a Build in Dallas, and he spoke for 3 hours. Nonstop. There was no breaks, nothing. It was nonstop. I don't think I've ever sat in an event or any seminar or anything and had somebody have my attention every second, every minute for 3 hours where I couldn't take my eyes off of them. That's how engaged I was. And I thought that was really cool. And then this year, or 2022 in Dallas, he came back, and I thought, well, I've already seen him once. He's not going to be able to do that again. Well, bullcrap. He did. He had my attention again. So, yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, the whole collaboration that I have found with EXP is second to none. I mean, it's unheard of, because when you get in real estate, you're taught to be competitive. You got to be competitive against who you're up against out there. And here, just because there's other agents out there, they're like, reaching down the ladder, grabbing a hold of you and going, let's go. We're going to the top. We'll go together.
Right.
That's not heard of in real estate.
It's not in real estate. And you've been in it quite a few years, like myself, and in the industry. Normally with any other company, everything is hush hush. Well, don't let them know that we're doing this. And with EXP, even in the same building, there's agents here sharing what they're doing. There's enough to go around for everybody.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's not like we're out there stealing other people's clients. We're not. We're helping each other grow, and we're helping our company grow.
Exactly. Well, and not every personality works together. So, I mean, it's not like you could service the entire state of Phoenix.
Right.
I mean, like that would ever happen, So it's like the same goes for the other agents out there. There's enough. I mean, you're going to attract what works with you. And that's what you want to work with. Exactly. So why hold back the secrets? And that's the one thing with the EXP that I found that is that sweet spot, because it's not anywhere else that I've seen.
Right.
So,
one of the things, and I just thought of this, if you don't mind me.
Oh, go ahead.
One of the other things that really enticed me, being self-employed, you don't really have like a retirement. So you throw money in stock or whatever. Oh, we have it down here. Shoot, I got to go in and take out what I just put in stock to be able to survive this downturn. Right. And then you end up with nothing. You got to rebuild it again, or put money in the savings. You're always, you can never save enough like for retirement.
Right.
So what I'm able to do with EXP, which I think is just phenomenal. So every one of my closings, I take 5% of my commission, and they buy stock at a 10% discount. So right off the bat, I'm making 10%. And it's based on the price the day of that closing. And I've banked some pretty darn good money. So
that's good. I mean, that's just not something that I think's talked enough about. It's unfortunate that a lot of misconceptions out there about EXP, right. That, it's all about stocks and, you're just a recruiting company. So for agents out there that have that outlook on EXP, what's some advice that you would give them?
I think that you really need to sit down with somebody that can really go over the benefits, the inside of EXP, because you need to look at it from the inside out, not the outside in. And I hope that makes sense, because when you're looking at the outside in, there's things that are covered that you don't see. But when you're inside, everything is open. So then you can really look at all the benefits and the training that's offered, and the collaboration, and the commission, that the company is giving you 10% on each share of stock that you purchase, with your commission. How many other companies are doing that? That's our own company is giving back to us. The other thing is, once you cap, you're 100%. And you really need to sit down with somebody that can really show you how that works and how you benefit from this. The old joke is, how many real estate agents retirement parties have you gone to? Right.
Zero.
Yeah. Zero. Because it's hard for us. As I was just saying a few minutes ago, you build up some money. Okay, I can put this back for retirement, but then you have to dig into it. But the awards that you receive from this company, they give you awards for production and other things that you achieve in this company, and then what you can buy yourself through your donation from commission, or not donation, but your purchase in stock. you can really build. And what I've seen in 3 years and what I have in stock is amazing. And that's just 3 years. And that's not like I'm putting a ton of money in, it's just that little bit, that 5% with each closing really adds up.
Absolutely. Well, and I don't think, when you get into real estate, you even take for a moment to think of a retirement or an exit strategy, because you get so caught up in trying to make a living
Right.
that you forget that, well, eventually I'm not going to be able to do this. At some point I may want to, take a vacation and not have to worry about picking up the phone.
Right. This is a business that, through the years I've taught some classes, and I'll have new agents come up to me and look at, well, I want to make, 250,000 a year, but I only want to work 15, 20 hours a week. And, it is a business that you need to work. You need to treat it like a business, not a hobby. I say that over and over and over. The EXP model really is an exception because you have a real estate side of the business, but if you do the other things and you receive the awards and you take your commission, that 5%, and add in there, you can get to the point in your business where you are not having to work 60, 70 hours a week. You are 20 to 30 hours a week. You can pick and choose. You can build that retirement. I honestly, I don't know any other company that you can do that with.
Yeah, no. I mean, because we've both been doing this a while now, and we're still here, but I have an exit strategy in place that I wasn't able to before. And by the sounds of it, you have one as well.
Absolutely, I do. Yep.
That's awesome. All right. Now, I know I don't want to keep you too much longer because I have enjoyed hearing your story. So I have one more question for you. And this one is, what have you learned from this game called life?
I was just talking to somebody the other day kind of on this subject. My life, what I do in this business and is to serve, so it's not just serving in real estate, but it's serving in life. It's serving to help, fellow man and woman, my kids, grandkids, other people's kids, grandkids, my clients. What I get most out of life is, for example, Christmas. I don't really need anything. My enjoyment is giving. And most people, I think, are like that. But life is that way too. You give, you serve. And I think that's what I think I want to be known for. And that's the way I live my life.
Servant heart. Love it. Love it. I love it. Well, thank you so much for your time today. And if any of my audience wants to reach out to you, how do they find Denny?
Well, you can give me a call on my personal cell at 480-234-2679, or you can email me at dennysellsaz@gmail.com. That's DENNYSELLSAZ@gmail.com.
Right on. Well, thank you so much for your time today, Denny. I really appreciate it. And you've dropped tons of value. I think the audience is really going to be able to grow from.
Thank you so much.
All right, everyone. We'll see you on the next one. Don't miss out. We'll be back.